No.
It's flashing. Okay. Do I have to say anything? Okay. I hereby call this meeting to order. This is a special meeting of the Board of Directors for Tuesday, January 15th, 2013. And would you please call the roll?
Yes. Davidson.
Here.
Jones.
She is here, but she's... Oh,
Yeah, she's
could you
here.
hear that? She's already in the other room.
Clark.
Here.
McCabe. Here. Garcia.
Here.
Folly.
Here.
Carney.
Here. The purpose of this special meeting is to consider the applicants for the Hot Springs Board of Directors appointment to the Advertising and Promotion Commission. I will now entertain a motion to recess into the executive session to discuss the applicants. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We will now recess into executive session. Oh, Lance is still not here. Board of Directors appointment to the Advertising and Promotion Commission, and do I announce this or you?
You
I do?
can.
And Karen Garcia will be considered by the board for appointment to the AMP at its regular meeting this evening at 7 p.m. There being no further business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? This meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, Karen. We appreciate that. And Pat, we appreciate both of you and your willingness to serve in that capacity. We appreciate that so much. Okay, is it time? We're 5 minutes past. It's time. Okay, welcome to the Tuesday, January 13th meeting of the Hot Springs Board of Directors. Tonight, our invocation is led by Mr. Les Warren, to be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. And please stand with me as this time.
Please pray with me. Dear Lord, tonight we ask your presence in our city's first meeting of the year. We give thanks for this beautiful city you've entrusted to us, and we thank you for our mayor and city board members you have put in place to oversee the day-to-day business it takes to run a city like ours. We pray for your guidance with each member here, especially those just beginning their terms as newly elected city board members. Give them all wisdom to do what is best for our city and to work in harmony with each other as they tackle the issues that are not easily resolved. We pray your blessings upon our wonderful city and ask you that you would allow us to prosper in this new year. May all we do bring glory and honor to you. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I hereby call this meeting to order. Would you please call the roll?
Yes. Davidson.
Here.
Jones.
here.
Clark.
Here.
McCabe. Here. Garcia.
Here.
Foley.
Here.
Barney.
Here. The first item of business is to consider the approval of the agenda. Are there any corrections, additions, deletions, or modifications to the agenda, including items, if any, to be removed from the consent agenda? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion adopted. And the second is to consider the approval of the minutes of the board meeting for December 18th and the special meeting held on January 2nd. Are there any corrections, additions, deletions, or modifications of the minutes? Did I skip something? Oh, I thought you were headed toward me. Okay. Are there any corrections to the minutes of the board meeting? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of the motion. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
I so move.
Is there?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
You're on the wrong
Aye.
street.
Aye.
All in favor, please. All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? No. Okay. The motion is adopted. I'm distracted.
Me too.
Okay. In an effort to afford everyone an equal and orderly opportunity to address the items on tonight's agenda, I want to remind our citizens and our guests to adhere to a 3-minute limit on your comments. And for your convenience, we will display a clock timer and in the corner, or it's not in the corner anymore, it's in the middle
Middle of the screen.
of the thing up there. We will display this clock timer, and Lance also has a little beeper. And out of respect for all of us, we ask that you honor this request. And while the members of the board may have questions of the speakers, I ask that any general comments be reserved for the board discussion after all the speakers have been heard. We also ask that all your cell phones be silenced during the meeting, and please refrain from any disruptions of the meeting. No jeering, sneering, booing, nothing. Just be quiet. We also ask that if you need to leave prior to the conclusion of the meeting, that you do so quietly. And thank you all for being here on the cold, cold winter night with all that ice and stuff out there. We are so excited that you're here. Thank you for coming and for being interested in the business of your city. We appreciate your weathering the storm. And at this time, we have guests to be recognized. And it would be Hetty Lou Brooks, the queen of Hot Springs. No, you were Miss Hot Springs, Arkansas, what was it? She is 98 years old, and she drinks the water from the fountain downtown.
She gonna get you. She say shit.
And we are so excited to have her here. And she supports us more than anybody in town. I want you to know that. She sends us cards, letters, and she has this group of ladies that just send us all kinds of sweet things. And thank you for being here. This is Hetty Lou Brooks. Would you please come forward, and we're recognizing you as our guest.
Thank you, Mayor. I stand in awe before you, because I'm always amazed when people love beyond themselves. And for you to be serving your community with no pay, except for a few of you that we have to have you, there, and we want you to have it.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. And that's what I've come. Hot Springs Women of Prayer was founded 27 years ago in this next February. We've been praying over this city. I'm 82 years old. I've lived here all my life. And when we began, Hot Springs downtown was boarded up, and they said it will never live again. And we began to pray, and I gathered a group of women together, and we met at the Arlington Hotel for years. And we began to pray. And it's been the most exciting thing of my life to see our city bloom and be so beautiful, and to see us prospering. More than just one group of people, to see our city, people beginning to prosper. That's what a community is all about. And I want to say to you that when I tell you we pray for you, that's what I mean. We do pray for wisdom, for God's blessings on you, for integrity, for honesty, that our city could rise up and be known throughout the earth as a unique people. I pray especially when tempers begin to do what they do, that the Holy Spirit will just come and bring us back in, because we're passionate people about what we believe in, and we understand that. But I believe that this year is going to be a unique, special year. We just feel a unique, special call on the next level for our community. And so I'm praying in a very special way, and we have a large group of women. We have prayer lists, so we call you by name. We call you by name. I want you to know that I know you have a lot of business to take care of. But you are human, you are a person of value, and we respect you. We respect your opinions, and prayerfully you will respect ours. One of the sweetest things that happened to me concerning this board is when our mayor called me and said that she had gotten a call from Karen Garcia and that her family had had a tragedy. And we hit the deck praying, and it blesses me so to see Karen doing so well, having gone through the tragedy that she's gone through. But I thought that's what the mayor of our city, loving her board, caring about you, calling others to love and to care. So through all of our differences of opinions, through all of our different standards and way of life, together, we're going to have a great community. And I believe this year we've got some goals. The crime would go down, that the drug situation would change, that families, again, would be strong, and that your decisions over the sewer, in a way I can't even explain, is going to help that happen. So I just want to say to all of you, thank you for taking care of the sewer. I don't want to do that. Thank you for taking care of the garbage and all the stuff you take care of. I don't want to do that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And may this really be a wonderful experience. Instead of board meetings be a headache, that some way, in a supernatural way, we just work together and work it out. For all of you who are new, welcome. You're on the new prayer list, and we believe that it's going to be a wonderful year for all of us. May God bless you, and remember, we're praying.
Thank
Drew Terry, I have to say that.
Please do.
For 17 years, Drew Terry, one of our Hot Springs Women of Prayer, has taken the responsibility twice a month to have someone here who would pray over our board meetings. And you wonder, well, when are you going to see those miracles? We've seen them, and we are seeing them, and we're going to see more of them. And I want to say a special word. You talk about faithful. 17 years, a woman who twice a month, and she's here without pay too. She's here because we've got a heart for it. Thank you, City Board. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, David Watkins. We look forward to getting to know you and all you new ones. We are praying for you.
Thank you so much. David Flory was here just the other day at a meeting I was in, and I had just heard her pray an incredible prayer for our policemen and for protection. And I said, David Flory, I just heard Hetty Lou Brooks pray an incredible prayer for you and your wife and the wives of all of our policemen in town. You are awesome. And there is so much going on in this city, and the protection that she prayed for our men and their wives, and our police women and their wives. And I just want to thank you for holding all of them up in prayer. Thank you so much. Awesome.
It's be a hard act to follow.
It's your turn.
Well, thinking on a positive note, I wanted to really thank the city employees who've been working diligently for probably about 22, 23 days in a row now, dealing with inclement weather. And, I can tell you, going all the way back to Christmas Day, it took a lot of effort on the part of my staff to assemble crews to deal with a lot of the needs that arise during a major snow event like we had. And I want to thank them for doing that. I think our plan worked pretty well. I think there's one gap in the emergency operation plan that we need to fill, and that's the role of who provides the warming centers and when and who's going to volunteer. That's something that my staff is going to work on with the county to make sure that we're better prepared next time. But I think the work on the ground that's being performed by Public Works and Water Utility and Police and Fire, just to name a few, has been magnanimous. Right now in that whole phase, we're working with FEMA to obtain some federal monies to help us, won't pay for it all, but help reimburse the community for all the work that's yet to be done. And those of you who have lots of trees in your neighborhood know that it's going to take a pretty strong effort to get that work done. But I know we can do that. And I wanted to thank the Nazarene Church for coming to our assistance since the warming part of our warming center part of the plan had relied primarily on the Red Cross, and there was a miscommunication there. We really had nothing. And so the Nazarene Church and the other church, Faith Point, we had two that came to our assistance really impromptu to help deal with the needs that were arising at the time. So I want to thank the churches for helping us in the future. My vision is that we'll have a consortium of churches, synagogues, etc., who can work together along with the hospitals in the community. We have wonderful hospitals here, and Director Foley made me aware that they are set up to help deal with crises. We just have to call them all together. And so in the ensuing months, we're going to spend time to make sure that we have a better plan in place. But I just want to thank the workers and all the volunteers who helped us get through a pretty tough couple of weeks.
Great.
That's all I have.
A lot of volunteers step up, and that was really great.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Before we go any further, I have kind of a State of the City address for 2013, kind of casting a vision. This is my announcement for upcoming events, like upcoming 2013. When Mr. Watkins came, we were talking one day, and he said something about my agenda, and I said, I don't have an agenda. And he said, well, yes, you do. And I said, no, I don't. He said, yes, you do. And he proceeded to tell me what my agenda was, and I'm thinking, you're right. And he told me my agenda, and I thought, yeah, that's my agenda. And so I wrote down a few things about my agenda, which he was right on. It was my agenda. And I thought, the definition of agenda is a set of goals. So what's your agenda? If we don't know what our goals are, we won't know when we've reached them, right? We won't reach them if we aren't all going in the right direction. The definition of goals, the objectives that a person or a system plans or intends to achieve. And the definition of team. A team comprises a group of people linked in a common purpose. Teams are especially appropriate for conducting tasks that are high in complexity and have many interdependent subtasks. A group in itself does not necessarily constitute a team. Teams normally have members with complementary skills and generate synergy through a coordinated effort, which allows each member to maximize his or her strengths and minimize his or her weaknesses. Team members need to learn how to help one another, help other team members realize their true potential, and create an environment that allows everyone to go beyond their limitations. We are living in a world of dysfunction, wouldn't you agree? That simply means things aren't working well. At the very core of society, we have the breakdown of the family unit, which leads to the rise in child abuse, domestic violence, drug abuse, addictions, crime. Whenever there is a failure on the part of the person in charge or the one who is responsible, or shall we say leadership, then we have a breakdown in whatever part of family, community, or society that is directly affected. There are three major responsibilities of leadership. Number one is protection. Number two is direction. Number three is provision. If one of those vital components is missing, then, as we speak in terms of government, that government is dysfunctional. We, the City of Hot Springs, the board, should be a team. We should not be just a group of people with our individual strengths and talents. We can be so much more than that with our combined strengths and weaknesses. We should never be in competition against ourselves. My goal, my agenda for the new year is to help create a team of leaders who will lay down our personal political ambitions and agendas and will work together with a united vision, united purpose, a united team spirit whose primary purpose is to fulfill the responsibility of providing, number one, protection, public health, safety, and welfare. Number two, direction. strategic planning to meet the needs of this generation and generations to come. And number 3, provision. User-friendly, affordable customer service for our community and surrounding area of responsibility, with the goal of teaming with the leaders of Garland County to impact the whole area with economic development, which will enhance and increase the potential of growth and expansion as never seen before in Hot Springs and Garland County. Our children need to grow up here, be educated here, and have job opportunities and future here. Our grandchildren should be able to find well-paying jobs right here. If we don't have goals, a plan, and get them on a team, it will never happen. Let's get on a winning team. A team that fights its own players will never win. Let's work together and make it happen. I would love to see a team that works right here. Okay? That's my goal. That's my agenda this year. Okay. Do we have any announcements of upcoming events from the board members? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, I do. Do you know the facts about a special election coming up to increase millage? Well, mark your calendars for February the 7th, because Dr. Sally Carter, president of National Park Community College, will be making a presentation at District 5 community meeting at the Forest Lakes Clubhouse at 4:30 p.m., and she will have all the facts. So please mark your calendar. Every registered voter in Garland County will be eligible to vote at this election. Be an informed voter. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, sir.
The goes without saying that when we drive through Hot Springs, we see a lot of the debris from the trees stacked up nicely on the curbs and a little bit into the street, and the city crews are doing their best to pick that up as quickly as possible. Every day, individuals ask me, "Well, Pat, where are they at? How long is it going to take?" Yeah, we have some issues that are just due to volume. We're trying to burn this debris, and we can only bring so much in at one time because we can only burn so much at one time. And we have to put the fire out at sunset, and we're not able to burn 24 hours a day. And we don't want to have to stage it twice because our compost facility only can take so much. So we're burning and hauling in and burning and hauling more in, and so it's going to take a little bit of time. So please bear with us. We haven't forgotten you. But again, this was a pretty significant storm. We have a tremendous amount of debris, and it will take some time. But we will get to all of you, and thank you for your patience.
Thanks.
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
who's in charge?
We are so glad to have you back. I could not believe my eyes. I saw you.
Charge. I love the power of prayer. I spent 3 holidays in the hospital from November 9th until Friday. And I think everybody in Hot Springs prayed for me. And if they didn't, I was praying for them to pray for me. It's good to be back. It's really good to be back. It's good to be in my own bed. For 2-3 nights, I thought I was still sleeping in the hospital bed because, I'm so long and tall, I could never get comfortable. And then Saturday night, I realized I was at home in my bed.
Oh, wow.
And I thank everybody for the prayers, the women of prayer. It was there. That power is strong, and I believe in it. But thank you, Mayor.
Great to have you back.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I just wanted to echo the city managers and Mr. McCabe's comments about the storm. I have a bald backyard now, but District 1 was early, so my huge pile has been picked up, and I certainly appreciate that. And I know people are working as fast as they can. And I heard this afternoon that Little Rock has already picked up 2,200 tons of trees and debris. Only announcement I have is that the Park Avenue Community Association is meeting Monday night at 6 o'clock at the Tower of Strength, and we urge all of those that have not been coming to Park Avenue Community Association meetings, PACA, We'd love to have you, and we're electing officers for 2013. Thank you.
Becca, have anything?
Nothing.
Make up something.
Next time.
How about Mr. Foley? Anything? Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
I will tell you that I'm impressed with the communication systems during the disaster that we had. I was very impressed with the direct line of communications we had and the constant updates. We got updates every day about what was going on within the city. So I appreciated that. It was easy to talk to some of our constituents and just give them kind of an update, and everybody understood, but I appreciate the communications.
Good. Okay. All right. The next item of business is the consideration of the consent agenda. Items in this section are of a routine nature and will be considered as one item of business without discussion. I will now entertain a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Would you please call the roll?
Yes. McCabe,
Aye.
Garcia,
Aye.
Foley,
Here. Yes.
Davidson,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
Carney.
Aye.
Adopted.
Consent agenda is adopted. The next item of business is to consider resolution number R1307. Council, would you please read the resolution by title?
Resolution R1307, a resolution approving the appointment of Director Karen Garcia to the Advertising and Promotion Commission. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you now entertain a motion and a second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Okay. Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Garcia,
Aye.
Foley,
Aye.
Davidson,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
McCabe,
Aye.
Carney.
Aye.
Motion adopted.
Resolution is adopted. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
much.
Okay. The next item of business is to consider resolution number R1308. Council, would you read the resolution by title?
Resolution number R-1308, a resolution waiving policy to allow overnight RV parking at the Transportation Depot Farmers Market area for the Southern Crunk Barbecue Festivus. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you now entertain a motion to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to adopt. Is
Correct.
there any discussion?
We're going to have Bob Reddish
Okay.
and I don't know if Bill or Lance want to weigh in on. You asked me to provide some answers to some good questions, and Bob, I don't know if you're going to handle all those or Bill, but
One of us will.
okay, good deal.
Bob Radish, Intra-City Transit Resident Advisor. On January 25th, the night of January 25th, folks will start cooking for the Southern Crunk Barbecue Festivus to be held the next day, Saturday, January 26th.
Yeah,
They have requested that they be allowed to park their recreational vehicles in the farmers market area to help them with the overnight cooking, as it takes all night to cook a barbecue. There is a resolution 13-4-1 for overnight camping or similar activities expressly prohibited. The organizers of the Southern Crunk Barbecue Festivus have asked that resolution be waived for this one time. One of the organizers is Dr. Randy Hill. Dr. Hill, myself, and Brian Fisher with the Parks Department walked the area where they wish to park the RVs, and it would be, as you can see on the map, it's Area D, which is all the way down toward Grand Avenue, the very far end. We have walked that area and discussed if the resolution is waived, how could this be accomplished with a minimum of invasiveness. And I will now try to answer any questions.
Okay.
You want to hear from speaker or
Yeah,
applicant?
that's fine. Mr. Hill?
You just forgot
Hill?
to tell him that it was in District 2.
It's good to have that voice back. You know, it really is.
Goodness.
Thank you for having me. Again, we are trying to organize a barbecue event. We've got about 50 teams, 40 to 50 potentially coming in. We have judges coming in from as far away as Chicago, as well as Tulsa to judge this. That'll be staying in our hotels, spending their money, doing things that will generate money for the economy of Hot Springs. We have teams from 5 states coming in, most of them contiguous. And any of you familiar with barbecue events realize it's an all-night event. I realize the ordinance. I appreciate it and understand the reason and the rationale behind it. The reason we asked for this reconsideration is the fact that these cooks are going to be by these pits all night, and it's going to be very cold that night. And if we wanted, we could have done this at other venues and other sites, but Hot Springs is special to me. I'm from here. I'm born and raised here, and I wanted to do something I thought would give back to the community. It's meant to be a fun event. It's not a private event. It's open to the public. Anybody that cares to come down and walk around and look around are free to do so. We've been very specific with the entrants that may be bringing RVs, that they may not dispose anything on site, and we feel confident we can do the dry camping without any troubles as it relates to that. We've already hired an off-duty police officer to ensure there's not going to be any additional cost to the city for having police officers down on the site. Furthermore, we have we've organized volunteers to clean up for this event as well, so the city is not going to have to involve cleanup. I've contacted the sanitation department and visited with them as it regards to the proper disposal of all hazards. We've got a governor's resolution here that we got a state proclamation declaring us a state certified event, so that helps for the teams coming in if they want to cook at the Royal, the Jack, or other such things. Again, these contests occur all over the U.S., in many different venues. The most recent one I cooked in Sheridan. I just want to mention that one because I won. But anyway, did a very similar thing where there's campers and there's other things all about for this event. They've all been informed. Every team's been informed. They'll have to be out of the sites that evening, no later than 5, although it may be 6 potentially. Again, I appreciate your time. I hope you consider this. I think if this is successful, we can bring more of these events into Hot Springs and can bring more money and more tourism, particularly during the time of year when things tend to be a little slow for the hotels. We've already had a few people booking hotels here as well, and I'd be more than happy to entertain any questions from any of the board members.
Dr. Hill.
Yes, ma'am.
I understand you want my vote.
Yes, ma'am.
But I can't get a plate of food.
If you'd like to be a judge, I can arrange that. No, just to explain that aspect of it, there's some.
You need to tell the public that.
Yes, ma'am.
That.
Yes, we're very specific. The public, there will be, the farmers market has vendors that are there that'll be set up, and they'll be vending food. We don't, the health department has regulations regarding that, so we have to be strict, although we do need some judges.
Oh, yeah. Sister Minnie and I, we've been judges for years, so
yeah.
if she show up, I will.
Well, mine's the one with the $100 garnish in the box. So.
Yeah,
Okay. In other cities, like Mr. Watkins was mentioning Kansas City, it was a huge festival where people, kind of like we have the chocolate festival or the chili cook-off where citizens can come and they pay a fee and they go in and they sample everything. But this is more like a private thing where only the judges the cooks get any barbecue. So if we have people think it's a barbecue cook-off and they go down and so you've got 1,000 people but nobody can eat barbecue, right?
Right. Well, this is a common question that we get. We're working, the next time through, we're probably going to do something that involves people getting samples of the barbecue. It's just kind of a health department issue. Now the public's welcome. There's no admission costs. They could all come down there. If you happen to have, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you happen to know somebody down there that's cooking, I'm sure they'll give you a sample. But it's a serious competition. I mean, it's a competition like a rodeo. I mean, if you're going to the rodeo, not everybody gets to ride the horse either, But not that they want to.
That's all right.
But to answer your question, Mayor, we are working towards that. It's not private to be exclusive. We hope that people come down here and will witness this contest and maybe want to do this themselves. That's what got me started. When I started cooking in these things, was cooking at the chicken cook-off downtown. Mm-hmm. And again, it's the first year through, we were trying to keep it as simple as possible. If we can do this again in the future, we certainly hope to have some sampling of the food for the public.
Okay. And then we got an email. It was like an anti-Christmas festival. Is that what it is? Like an
No, the name of that's interesting.
Festivus part of
the whole
it?
Festivus. This came about. We wanted to just you read about all these competitions. They all have their names: Smoke on the Water, Smoke on this, or whatever. We just want to make it interesting and fun. That's the whole idea. There's a Seinfeld episode that refers to Festivus, and the whole thing about that was just it had these little fun things that you do: feats of strength, airing of grievances, all that. It's a parody. It's a comedy. It has nothing to do with Christmas at all, or any denomination, so to speak.
Okay, so you're really not anti-Christmas.
I'm a Methodist.
Could you
No, ma'am,
rename
I'm
it
not
just for the
anti-Christmas.
sake of those who think you're anti-Christmas?
Yes, I mean, and if anybody does take it that way, I apologize. I mean, this is all in good fun. I really don't think people should take the Festivus aspect of it and make it into something it's really not. I mean, it's just for fun. So
Okay.
if anybody has any concerns about that, I'll be happy to talk with them about it.
The only concern I had was that we didn't have a whole lot in our packet when we got it about when you're putting out the information. So
Sure.
what if 100 campers show up?
Well, we're not going to have that many, I can assure you of that, because we can't handle it. As an organizer,
Yeah.
we can cut it off at any time.
Just tell them they can't park there.
Right. And they know that. I mean, it'll only accommodate so many people. Right now, like I say, we've got 20 to 25 paid entrants. We expect to have maybe 15 more show up, depending on what I'm hearing from different people. And these are some cool teams. I got a fellow team from Pitmasters coming in. I've got a team coming from Kansas and a team from Memphis that are the top of the circuit. I mean, you got to be a barbecue geek to understand it. But to answer your question, we're not going to have that many. I don't want that many. As helping to organize this, I think we got to make sure it's successful. And the way you can succeed is to get too big and not take care of the folks the right way. And we don't want to cause any problems for the city.
So did you check out the hay place?
Oh, yeah, I know Brooks.
Okay.
Yeah, Brooks and I are friends.
So did you check out that they're not going to have their hay trucks there?
I haven't asked Brooks about it, but I'll talk to Brooks and see. I mean, Brooks is a personal friend of mine.
Yeah,
Brooks
but
Nichols is.
that's what we were discussing today because that's where their hay trucks are always parked because
Well, we're not really going to be that area. I mean, we're going to be that overflow parking lot back in there.
Other side.
So we're not going to be on anybody's private property. There's no intent to be on private property at all. And I know Brooks down there. My Aunt Pam has the Pam's Party Rentals down there. I know a lot of the merchants there. And again, I spoke with Pam. I haven't spoken with Brooks. I'll be happy to do so. And if he has a complaint, he'll let me know.
Okay, that's what we were just thinking. Maybe there might be a conflict there.
How many competitors are there now?
Right now, we have 20 paid entrants, and those are teams typically of 2 or more. We'll likely have double that. We'll likely have 40 because I've got some teams that haven't paid that I know for sure are coming. Because of the time of year that we're having this, we want to be able to refund anybody's money if they can't make it on account of weather because it's not worth risking your life to come to our little barbecue contest. So a lot of the teams have elected to pay at the last minute.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Hill, I didn't
ma'am.
hear it mentioned, but it's my understanding there will be security there during the evening, and that it's really not camping, it's parking.
Right.
And it's much the same way as other events are held in the city when there is a setup the night before, whether it's at our parking garage downtown or out at the airport where events are set up the night before and they're parked there overnight for events the next day. And
That's correct. I mean,
what's going to occur.
right. And again, were we going to allow camping, we'd say you could maybe stay another night, but we're not doing that. They have to be there to tend to their fires. I mean, you got guys like me that are half crazy that sleep on a cot next to their pit. But a lot of these people, they use their campers as part of their cooking prep. I mean, they have all their knives and things in there. They have their refrigeration in there and all those type of things. So it is a little unique from other such activities.
Mayor?
Okay.
That's it.
I guess my other question is, if we make exceptions, are we going to continue to make exceptions? Or
I don't consider
Depends
this
on
an
who it
exception.
is.
This is not camping. This is a group that wants to stage and have an event. I don't consider them camping. It's
Don't either.
Yes, ma'am.
I think his application was quite clear, and it was filed, I think, in mid-December or so, regarding the food issue. Will there be food served? The answer was no. Will there be wine served? The answer, beer or wine served? The answer was no.
Right.
You know, I think some of us who, I include myself in this, though many years ago I went to the Memphis in May and on a particular weekend thinking, because they had a barbecue competition, and we were walking up and down the row of barbecue people wondering, where's the beef? Right. And we soon realized it wasn't about us, it's about them. And their competition. And as Dr. Hill indicated, you know, we all go to events to watch, but we don't participate in that event. So I think you've been clear in your application, and I don't consider this an exception. I think if people want to say it is an exception, I think you're taking a very, very strict interpretation of what camping is. Just the fact that you moved an RV vehicle on there, it's camping. There's just part of their equipment.
I was just going to ask the city manager if it would, because Mr. Reddish read the policy for the transportation center that prohibited overnight parking, to be consistent with our other policies at the airport, downtown, parking garage when there's special events, that maybe the appropriate staff, Public Safety Committee review that for any potential recommendations to Mr. Reddish for any updates to this policy to make it clearer.
Yeah, I think, just to make a couple of comments, I think I've told you I worked in a community that had a little barbecue contest that started out with 5 teams, private, and grew to 200 teams, and it's a major event, but it's, you know, it's public. I mean, people go there. It's a happening. I think in order to make the policy more clear in the future,
Right.
that we need to specify exactly what is it we're trying to promote that has a public interest, and maybe come up with a better definition so it's easier for staff to make that ruling so you don't have appeals. So yeah, I've talked to Brian briefly today, and you know, I think this is a good event. I think in the future we'll come back to you with a revision that will kind of answer some of the questions that have come up tonight, which are poignant.
Thank you.
Good.
Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Hill, you had mentioned contribution to the farmers market. Could you tell us about that?
We're trying, part of these events that we have is we sometimes try to raise money for charities, and we're hoping to raise anywhere between $500 and $1,000 for the farmers market to continue their winter operations. So that's the other thing that drew us to the farmers market.
Thank you.
Are you paying rent for the area?
We're not paying rent for the area, but we're going to make a contribution to them. Our expenses are fair. We're having to do a lot of other things. For instance, I'm bringing in some extra porta potties down there, paying for the police officers and those type of things.
Okay. Any other questions? Everything? Any other?
Call for the
Okay.
vote.
Is that it? Okay, thank you.
Appreciate your time and
Thank you.
consideration.
Okay, we had Rick,
Yeah, Rick,
Raymond.
not Rick,
Ramo?
Ramo.
Raymond.
Ramick?
Yes.
Rick Ramick. I think that's Ramick.
Yeah.
Good evening, Mayor and Directors. Thank you for allowing us to be before you tonight. Nice to see you back, Ms. Jones.
Thank you.
I don't have much to add that Dr. Hill added, but this is a sanctioned tournament of the International Barbecue Cook Society, so there are a lot of rules that we have to follow in order to qualify to cook. I've been involved in competitive barbecuing for about 20 years as a competitor and a judge, and we started out using 55-gallon drums cut in half, and that was about all we had. But what you'll see at this tournament is cookers that range anywhere from $5,000 to $30,000. These people are serious, and And they have a lot of the, speaking of RVs, a lot of the cookers will be painted the same color as the RV. And they do work out of these, and people will be putting meat on at midnight to 4 o'clock in the morning. They'll be turning their meat every hour, so they need to be there in order to do that. And again, it's going to be extremely cold out there, so we would appreciate a favorable vote on this and waive this ordinance for us. And I bet if any of you come on Friday night, you'll probably get to taste some barbecue.
I thought it was illegal.
That's my vote.
That's not during the tournament, that's before.
Before, Mayor, Friday night.
You're a personal friend of the cooks.
Oh, just so the health department doesn't show up or watch it on TV, right?
Right. But it's we usually have food for us to eat, and we're very charitable, and we'll share our meals with you. Okay.
Thank you.
Is he bribing us?
No, it's a bribe.
Okay.
Call for the question.
I'm getting hungry.
Questions?
Yeah, we're getting hungry.
We ready to vote. Just 10 minutes late.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Call for the question.
Okay. Any other discussion? All right. That was the last one signed up. Okay. Okay. Any questions? Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Jones.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
McCabe.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Foley.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Carney.
Aye.
Adopted.
Okay. It's adopted. Okay. The next item of business is to consider resolution number R1309. Is that it?
Yes, ma'am.
Awarded. Oh, would you? 1309. Council, would you please read the resolution by title?
Resolution number R-1309, a resolution awarding a contract to Coakley Company for water main replacement and installation related to Phase 2 of the 2012-2013 water system improvements. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you now entertain a motion and a second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Do I have a motion to
So
adopt?
moved.
Second.
Okay. Is there any discussion? That would be Mr. Carnahan.
Thank you, Gary Carnahan, City Engineer, and welcome back, Director Jones. Wanted to say a personal welcome to you. Tonight, we want to ask your approval of awarding a contract to Coakley Company for $1,234,357 as a part of our overall effort to reduce the leaks in our water system. And we've talked before about part of our strategy to reduce the leaks in our water system and to sell a higher percentage of the water we make is to replace our old water mains. I was having a discussion the other day with CenterPoint Energy, and they've been replacing a lot of gas mains in the city. Last year they were doing several $100,000, and about halfway through the year they told me that they had an order from their headquarters to increase their main replacements by an additional $800,000 in 2012, and then to double that in 2013. And he pointed this out to me. He said, our gas mains were installed the same year your water mains were installed. And a lot of them are made of the same kind of pipe. And all of our gas mains all those old gas mains need to be replaced. And so it makes perfect sense that the same is true of our water mains. And we've known that. And so part of our strategy is to have a 5-year plan of replacing $7 million worth of these old water mains. And this is a contract for almost 3 miles of old water mains, 15,588 feet. It covers pipes on 16 different streets around the city. And also as a part of this water main replacement program, wherever we can, wherever it makes sense, we are upsizing from 2-inch to 6-inch water mains and installing fire hydrants to help our fire department with their ISO rating. There are places in the city where we don't have fire hydrant coverage within the ISO requirement, And so where we've overlapped our water replacement map with the fire hydrant ISO map. So wherever we can, we're adding new fire hydrants. And in this contract, we're adding 23 new fire hydrants into the water system. We bid this work as a public bid opening. We had 2 bidders, and the Coakley Company was the low bidder. So we hope you'll approve this contract so we can get started on the work. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to help.
We're happy.
Thank you.
Anyone sign up for that? Nothing?
No.
Okay. Is any discussion, questions? Okay. Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Yes. McCabe.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Folly.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Carney.
Oh, aye.
Adopted.
Okay. The next item of business is to consider Resolution R1310. Council, would you please read the resolution by title?
Resolution R1310, a resolution requesting the Arkansas Highway and Transportation Department to conduct a study evaluating lighting needs along Martin Luther King Expressway. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If now entertain a motion second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Okay. Do I have a motion to adopt?
I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, and discussion. I think we've had this discussion a little bit. We're on MPO board, and Mr. Watkins and I have requested this a couple of times. The Metropolitan Planning Organization, I think it was brought up in one of our discussions here with the city, county, with Miss, I know your name. It's one of those senior moments, Kathy Selman. It was one of our county planning times. And we said, yes, we would like to have lighting on the Martin Luther King bypass. And so we discussed it on the Metropolitan Planning Organization when we had the county or the state representatives here. And 2 times we brought it up, and they said, well, bring it to us with a letter. So this is that letter that we're asking that we would ask that the state provide lighting on our bypass. And so we were asking you to endorse that, and we're going to ask them if they would put lights on our bypass, which we really, really need. So we're just asking you to say, yeah, let's do that. I think everybody's pretty much sure that we need some lights, especially at the exits where you go off on the bypass. We've had wrecks, we've had accidents there. So that's what this is about. Do we have any, Mr. Watkins, you want to elaborate on that?
No, only in that the state has brought it up a couple of times, and they have to go through a couple of steps for this to happen. And the first is they have to conduct a safety study, which, I mean, it's kind of like you already know the answer.
Yeah.
But they have to do that, and then they will try to work that into their capital improvement cycle. And then after it's built, it's then deeded over to the city. I think it's deeded over. I know we have to pay the electric bill, so we'll have to have an idea of what that is. But to even get to that point, we're having to ask for a study, a safety study, to begin that process. And it has come up at the MPO meeting, and everybody agrees with it. We just need to get the ball rolling.
Okay. Any questions? All right. Would you please call the roll?
Yes. Clark.
Aye.
McCabe.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Folly.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Carney.
Aye. The next item of business is to consider ordinance number O1301. First of all, I will entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read by title only. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules and read by title only. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Council, would you please read the ordinance by title?
Ordinance O1301, an ordinance amending the zoning code of the City of Hot Springs, Arkansas by rezoning property located at 146 Falls Road, described herein as R2 Suburban Residential District to CTR Commercial Transitional District and for other purposes. If you now entertain a motion second to adopt and have discussion, if any, Your Honor.
I so move.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Second.
Okay. And discussion.
Thank you. I'm Kathy Selman, Planning and Development Director. Welcome back, Director Jones.
Thank you.
So good to see you. This is a request to rezone approximately a third of an acre located at 146 Files Road. There was a previous request, the mid to late last year, which came through Planning Commission and to the board, but was withdrawn by the applicant before the board could act upon it. And the property owner, Ms. Moon, is now seeking a change of zone to a different zone, this to CTR, Commercial Transitional District. And this is located at 146 Files Road. It's improved with a 1,956 square foot single family residential structure. The property had been vacant for many years prior to the applicant buying it. And prior to the applicant's purchase, the structure actually was on the city's list of condemned properties. Since acquiring the property, the applicant has made major renovations to the structure, including but not limited to tearing down a previous two-vehicle garage, which was in a state of disrepair. The property has about 100 feet of street frontage on Files Road, which is a heavily traveled road. The surrounding properties are zoned plan development, C4, which is Regional Commercial Open Display District, the city's most intense commercial zone, in R2 Suburban Residential. The subject property will be completely surrounded by non-residential development once the Grand Oaks development is constructed. The staff finding and recommendation to Planning Commission is as follows. The applicant successfully demonstrates that the standards for favorable consideration have been met. Planning Commission is able to establish a basis for recommendation to the Board of Directors that the proposed change demonstrates compatibility with surrounding developments and zoning, and that a significant change in the surrounding physical condition is occurring. And I just want to remind the board, these are our new standards that the board approved late last year. This is the first zoning change request that's coming to you with these new standards. The staff recommendation was that Planning Commission recommend to the board that an ordinance be adopted amending the zoning code map, designating the property CTR, and also to redesignate the subject property to commercial enclave on the future land use plan map. With that specific finding that the change demonstrates compatibility with surrounding developments and zoning, and that that significant change in the surrounding physical condition and land use is occurring. Planning Commission, at its duly advertised public hearing held on December 13, 2012, received public comment, which was all positive, and voted unanimously to accept the findings presented by staff and recommend to you that you complete the requested rezone by adopting the ordinance for the reasons that were listed in the staff report. So the recommendation to you tonight is to adopt that ordinance rezoning approximately 0.35 acres at 146 Files Road from suburban residential to CTR Commercial Transitional District. That concludes the presentation.
Thank you. Any questions? Anyone have questions for Ms. Selman? Okay. Oh. Do we have Jody Moon? Do you want to speak?
I do, thank you. Hi, I'm Maddie Moon. My current address is 220 Grand Isle, Hot Springs. Thank you guys for being here on such a yucky night. To refresh everybody's memory, 146 Files is an old house that has been uninhabitable for about 7 years. Though I didn't buy it from the city, it was on the condemned list, as Kathy has said. And in hindsight, it probably should have been torn down, but I thought it had potential. So to date, it has new joists, new roof, new drywall, new flooring, new windows, all new commercial electric, new plumbing, new heat and air, new siding, new paint, and did I say we have a new sewer? It was actually never connected to the sewer. it was still on the septic tank. And soon we'll have landscaping and parking once this is approved. My use of the property would be a small wellness center. I'm an independent Herbalife distributor, always working from home. Of course, you can't really do that anymore. It's not really safe. So I work as a personal wellness coach for health and wellness and weight loss. I need a place for consultations. To customers, I'll provide samples and products for those who wish. I plan to offer massage therapy, possible skin care. I have a grief counselor who wants to come in, and possibly other wellness-related services. We will be available approximately Monday through Friday, 9 to 7, or approximately 9 to 7. However, we'll be working by appointment, so we might not be there until maybe lunch sometimes, or even later in the afternoon, and sometimes maybe not at all in the day. It just depends on the bookings. And going through the zoning lists, we couldn't really find a heading for what I want to do. Specifically, however, the most appropriate thing that we come up with was day spa, because everything that I plan to do actually can be done in a day spa. I just didn't want to be known as another day spa. I really wanted to be more in the wellness vein. However, for understanding purposes, I do understand that. The location of the property is on the north end of Files Road near Section Line. To the north of me, the corner of Section Line and Files, is the high-rise First National Bank. The driveway just to the left of me, which is also north, is the driveway to Dr. Koppel's busy orthodontist office. Across the street's the Nazarene Church. It's 217 feet from my property to the back entrance of the Boardwalk Shopping Center, which adjoins the Nazarene property. And then adjoining me to the south is the Grand Oaks property. These locations are marked on the map that you have. As you can see, the structure is isolated up near the street and is not suitable for a large family dwelling as is now zoned. It formerly was a 3-bedroom house. 1, 2, 3, actually 4 bedrooms. Could be 4 bedrooms. Changing it to requested CTR zoning would be not only more consistent with the commercial zoning around me, but more in compliance with other properties in the city. In my research, I found many such properties that already had C3 or C4 and CTR zoning, and I've already had those for many years. To date, this is the only structure facing Files Road that is zoned R2. Most everything else actually has a C4 zoning. I submit to you that to be consistent with existing similar properties and in being in compliance with the city code requirements that I've met, that I would strongly suggest, and hopefully that you would make this the appropriate zoning would be CTR. And I can't really follow it with barbecue, but I make a fantastic meal replacement shake, and Tammy is the best massage in town. So, not to say anything specific, but it's available.
Okay. Are you bribing us too on television?
No, not at all. I'm just telling you what great services we're going to have.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Y'all have questions? Okay. Thank you so much. And I was looking for an updated picture, and I don't see one, but y'all can drive by. It looks really great over there.
Come over and have that shake.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Anybody? Okay.
I just want to note I did drive by there, and they really have put a lot of money and investment in that facility.
Looks good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and there's a pothole, Bill, right out in front of there that really needs to be fixed. I mean, it's deep, so if you drive by.
We'll go fix it for a milkshake.
Yeah.
And could I just say, when they're talking about the sanitation department, we had so many tons of junk to be hauled off because of so much demolition that we had to do and junk. And those guys were tremendous. I mean, they were picking that stuff up on the street the time we got it out there as soon as I called them. And the roll-offs and stuff, they were actually terrific. They did a great job.
Thank you.
Who's in charge?
That's right.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
know it.
Thank you. Would you
like
please
that,
call the
didn't you?
roll?
Yes. Davidson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
McCabe.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Foley.
Aye.
Carney.
Aye. Thank you. Okay. We almost done. The next item of business is consider ordinance number 1302. I will entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read by title only.
I'll move.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Council, would you please read the ordinance by title?
Ordinance 01302, an ordinance accepting a portion of Shady Hills as a public street and for other purposes. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you now entertain a motion, a second to adopt, and have discussion, if any.
Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Discussion.
Thank you, Gary Carnahan, City Engineer. About a year ago, this board heard a request from folks who live on this lower part of Shady Hills Street to pave the street. They came and asked if the city would pave the street. Actually, we discovered that when the property was annexed into the city, that right-of-way was never dedicated to the city, and that portion of that street was not maintained by the city and was not a real city street, although it showed up on some old plats from way back years ago. This is located down on Davidson Drive, like if you're going to the compost facility, just on the right, there's a little triangle there, and down below the big hill, there's an area here about 250 feet long, is what we're talking about. So the city voted, the city board at that time did not agree to pave that section because it wasn't a city street, but they told the owner to, if they would dedicate the right-of-way to the city, then they would put that street on our list, like all the other city streets are, and go through our rate and ranking system, and that it would then have the same chance of getting paved that all the other city streets do. So recently, that property owner got his two neighbors, also the three of them signed right-of-way dedications to the city, recorded those at the courthouse. We have those in our possession. And so now we'd like to ask the city board to go ahead and vote to bring that section of street into the city for maintenance.
Is Mr. Freep here? I didn't see him.
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay. Any questions?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It desperately needs to be accepted. Poor man. It's a drop-off into nowhere eternity. And he thought when he bought the property that it was a street, and it's not. So. Okay, any questions? Anybody have questions? Okay.
McCabe.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Foley.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Carney.
Hi.
Dustin.
Wonderful. Thank you. Consider ordinance. That was it. All right. We are done. Okay, the Board of Directors comments. Do we have any comments? Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to thank Dan Bugg, the Director of Animal Control. He did an outstanding job at a presentation at District 5 earlier this month and had excellent feedback. He had some very useful information to the questions that were put before him. And also thank the Parks and Recreation, our Utilities Department for the groundbreaking Utility Service Center Trail last Friday, and all the city employees that worked on making that a successful event, as well as the other organizations, the Friends of the Park, Spa Pacers, and others, the Redcoats that were there, and thank everybody for their support of our Greenway.
Do we have anybody signed up for after?
No, ma'am.
Okay, great. All right. Immediately following, we will adjourn. We don't have anybody signed up for other. Do we have any other announcements anybody wants to make?
Move that we adjourn.
Oh, you're wonderful. Do I have a second? Do I have a second? Do we have one? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.